The Junior and Senior Distinguished Faculty Awards are presented annually at commencement. These awards are based on nominations received from faculty and graduating seniors. A panel of previous award winners selects one individual in each category from among the top recipients of nominations. In making the selection, the panel considers teaching, scholarly and professional excellence, and service to the college and community. The Junior Distinguished Faculty Award is given each spring to an assistant or associate professor. Each spring at Gordon, just in time for graduation, it seems as if the colors reemerge. The azaleas and tulips, the spring grass. And in this gathering today, we certainly have a spring-like sense of a new beginning. Yet we still mark this time of new beginnings, this commencement, with a ceremony full of historic rituals, most evident, perhaps, in the bright colors of our medieval robes. Color, ceremony, tradition, and ritual are all vital parts of the life of this year's Junior Distinguished Award winner. She is, as one colleague notes, our resident color wheel. You can see her walking through Barrington Center with funky red round glasses, green clogs, and a pink plexiglass clipboard. Her paintings are notable for their use of color, including some startling shades, as well as more serene rhythms of visual narrative. And with color, she continually invites us to see spiritual and human themes in familiar biblical narratives. And she is a lover of tradition and liturgy. Not only has she taught several courses in liturgical art, but she has worked closely with our chapel office to incorporate more art in our worship spaces and services. As an active member in Christians in the Visual Arts, she assists clergy and laity in seeking ways to revitalize the arts in the evangelical church. She's made hundreds of her drawings available electronically for churches to use in everyday practice in worship services. And in recent years, she has been involved in Gordon and Lynn, demonstrating how art can become a means of discovery and service in urban communities. Perhaps, though, it is in the daily, quiet traditions and ceremonies that her life shows its richest hues. As a teacher and mentor, she faithfully devotes many hours to looking at her students' revisions. Art majors know that they will always get a tough critique from her, and they welcome that because they are very much aware of how much she cares for them. And when morale starts to dip, don't be surprised if she shows up to the next class with food. As a colleague, she is greatly respected for her gracious presence, her integrity, her ability to raise and respond to the difficult questions without self-importance. If you visit her office, you will find mobiles of the sun and moon hanging from the ceiling. Color, after all, depends on light. And Gordon is a brighter, more colorful place because of the light, both gentle and bold, that comes from the work and service of this year's Junior Distinguished Faculty Award recipient, Tanya Butler. This year's Senior Distinguished Faculty Award recipient has enjoyed a notable career in his field and in the Christian liberal arts, though it has been our good fortune to bring him to Gordon only within the last decade. Yet immediately after he arrived, he impressed many with his professionalism and ability to see new possibilities for his students. Actually, my first conversation with him was about 2 decades ago, long before either one of us knew we would be standing here on the Gordon Quad. He had called from his Midwest home to help arrange a tour of a Uganda theater troupe on the West Coast, a performance that mixed the joyful and mournful strains of African music and dance in an exploration of the nation's tragedy and hope. At Gordon, he has shown that same spirit, a delight in things new and experimental, a desire to listen to voices beyond his own culture, an awareness of the ways that theater awakens us to the tragic and joyful. Indeed, there is a joyful spirit in his work, evident in his love for musical theater, as well as a moral alertness, apparent when he chose some Harold Pinter plays because their nuances spoke to some of the political rhetoric and fears of our time. Former chair of the Fine Arts Division, he is appreciated for his collaboration with other artists. On several occasions, he has joined with faculty in music and the visual arts to enrich our aesthetic vision for programs at Christmas and Easter. As a mentor to students, he sets high goals and allows individuals to take risks. His spirit of innovation, as well as his respect for students' potential and courage, led to one of my favorite events at Gordon in recent years, the production of the play Growing Up Christian. Under his guidance, the students wrote their own script, drawn mostly from their own experiences in the church. It became a vibrant, edgy, joyful, and very moving portrait of a generation's journey to embrace a life of faith. Selected for the Kennedy Center's regional festival, it won audience and scriptwriting awards. But more important than the awards was the impact that it had on its audience. After seeing Growing Up Christian, the festival director marveled that instead of seeing the audience rush off to their usual parties, they stayed up much of the night talking about their spiritual journeys. Theater had rekindled their desire to talk about faith. Last fall, when assisting a production of Shakespeare's Cymbeline at the New York Lincoln Theater, this professor wrote these words in his blog: "One goal of theater is a dramatic call to abate memory loss. We often forget what silly creatures we are when we are in love. We lose touch with our humanity when we are driven by arrogance and vengeance. We fail to see the impact of our actions, both routine and monumental. Theater keeps us from forgetting. For the many ways it has helped us remember our humanity, and for the ways it has helped us see theater as a means of discovering our faith, I am pleased to present this year's Senior Distinguished Faculty Award to Professor Jeff Miller."